the Super Bowl TV Merit Tournament qualifying, and that's where Eddie Jackson, whoops, hit me, I'm sorry. And there's our first shot from Earl Lenhoff, and the picture tells the story. Starts it out with a strike.
Well, Earl is no stranger out here, you know, Nick. He finished third in the PBA regional qualifier they had here. And he got a pretty good little chunk of money out of it.
Here's Earl Weatherford. Boy, he cranks it.
He's a typical young up-and-coming star. I get a kick out of him. It seems like their game of bowling is cock an arm underneath the ball and sling it to the right. And of course, he's playing with a urethane ball out there, which has a lot of traction on it.
Earl's a scratch bowler. He's averaging 214 on the year, and he owns 300 games, so he's no stranger to the strike ball.
And he lets it go. And that was just a little too much power on the back end of the ball. And he gave it plenty of room, and he hit it. When you were talking about hitting, I'm talking about right at the point of release, right at the foul line, where you pour the fingers into the ball. And if you notice, he's cupped underneath it, and he's using that wrist master there to give him a firmer release on the ball.
Earl Lenhoff plus 39 pins. Handicap. So he's got Earl Weatherford, both Earls, oh boy, has a lot of ground to make up. And what happened there?
He just had a pull. He got a little anxious. He had that big strike up there, and he wanted to jump on it, so he has to pay for it. So I'm sure he'll just take two and go for the next frame.
4, 6, 7, 10.
The big four. And a 2.
Yeah. So after one frame, Earl Lenhoff plus 37. Earl, he's been bowling for 38 years. So he's, again, no stranger to lanes by no means.
He just hit a little light. He's throwing with a much harder ball. And you'll notice that you'll see the rotation of the ball as it goes down the lane. You'll see the label of it a lot more than you will see it with Weatherford's ball. And I'm going to refer to him, the Weatherford Lenhoff. And he's moving cross lane, shooting at the spare. With a converter.
Hang on.
And it ran into the what, Nick?
The channel.
There you go, the channel.
Eddie and I were talking before the telecast began, and they're saying it's no longer a gutter, it's a channel. And these are not bowling alleys, but they are
bowling centers.
Bowling centers, bowling lanes. And crank in a 9 count.
No, Earl, he just got that one a little wide. Talking to him right after the practice, he was saying that they have a little more area out there. And I'm sure that with the power he has on the back end of that ball, driving into the pocket, you will see that he'll try and keep the ball light where he can do the most damage. And for the spare.
Weatherford he's an exceptional athlete. He plays softball, racquetball, and he's played pro softball, fast and slow pitch for the Cincinnati Cubs, slow pitch, and the Pittsburgh Hard Hats pro softball, and I got to see the Suds and the Hard Hats play, and exciting. So he's a super athlete, Earl Weatherford. And what do you call that?
That is what is known as a trip four. The ball driving into the pocket. And if you remember the shot he had before on the left lane, he got out of the 4-9 split.
And Earl Lenhoff
He come right, he answered the call, and Earl Lenhoff was kidding Earl Weatherford. He said, the difference between you and I, he says, I bowl fast, you bowl slow.
The 39 pin handicap difference is cut to 5, so it's a scratch game. So Earl Lenhoff,
it never seemed like every time he hits high, he has to pay for it.
He's using a 16-pound ball.
He'll cross lanes and knock off the 2 pins on the right because he knows 2 means 4 on a strike and a conversion.
And he picks it up. And we're halfway through our first match with Earl Lenhoff and Earl Weatherford. And the winner will meet Larry Sydnor. We'll be back right after this. Earl Weatherford is getting set. He's working on a strike, 2 spares and a strike. So he's hot.
Well, if he can catch one here, he'll pull this match almost even. He's got it out there. A little wide and for the washout. It seemed like that lane over there has been giving him a fit. We'll see how he comes along here in a minute. He'll try and get behind that 1 and the head pin and the 2 pin and slide the head pin over into the 10.
Oh, beautiful shot. Oh, yeah.
I think he was listening. You know, here at SuperBowl, we're going to host the United Auto Workers National Tournament on April the 16th, 17th, the 23rd, and the 24th here at SuperBowl. And Earl's I'll let the ball out to the right.
Oh, a little high. He got away with it. An 8 count.
The match within 5 pins now.
Earl Weatherford, in the warm-ups, he was using another ball. Now here he goes. He's got another ball. He's brought about a suitcase full. How come?
Well, he's using one that hooks a little less than the other one. Talking to him, the reaction that he has off of this ball is it doesn't hook as much as his other urethane. Both balls are made out of urethane. Both of them have a rubber core. And here comes.
Oh,
and that is a solid 7. To the right-handers, a solid 10.
do you think it's Earl Lenhoff is coming cross lane? Do you think he'll have any problems with this pin?
Well, it's the same as a right-hander shooting at the 10 pin. He'll cross lanes. This is the one he missed earlier. He dropped it in the channel. And if he overcorrected, which he did, he overcorrected and pulled it.
So now, with any count, Earl Weatherford will take the lead for the first time in the match in the 6th frame.
You got to take your time when you're shooting spares and just visualize where you want the ball to roll. And there it comes.
Oh.
That took care of the 7 pin.
It looked like he hit a little high into the Cincinnati side.
Yeah, that's the Cincinnati side for sure, but then he just yanked on it a little bit. As you saw, everything came up at the lane, and he just flat out pulled it. And there's Earl Weatherford. We'll trust this one. You can bet on it. And there it is.
Oh, pretty. So Earl Weatherford +6 going into the 8th frame.
And they're all even with strikes. And this is the one that Earl has been closest to all day. I like to watch him grip underneath the ball. Tucks it under.
Oh.
Just didn't get enough of the pocket. That's the hit. The hit that you like to hit them thin and then the force of the ball will blow those pins out of there.
I was about ready to say it looked like he was just going to miss the pocket completely, but that ball just made a strong break at the end and managed to come up a little light. I guess I better knock on wood before I say this, but Earl Weatherford has filled up every frame through 8.
That's for sure, and this is a big pitch for Earl Lenhoff.
Oh, what caused that?
Well, that relates back to what I said earlier, Nick, when he was talking with the heavier ball, the hard shell. It doesn't pick up the roll as easy as the urethane ball, so the ball didn't get any traction. He missed it with the fingers, and you have to have that. And that hurt.
Entering the 9th frame, it's nowhere, but it's not over. Earl Lenhoff is down 8, plus Weatherford's on a spare. But a big ball here really opens the door back up.
He hit a little light. And, again, you notice Earl is no youngster out there, Earl Lenhoff. And again, as I was saying, bowling is a fun sport. Anybody can bowl and bowl well. And he's done a good account of himself out there, Nick. He's 66 years old, and he just loves to play this game.
Like I said earlier, 38 years on the lanes. And that's just a real credit to the gentleman.
And that ball just finished a little late. And you see the 6 pins laying in the gutter. Did you notice what I said there? It's laying in the channel down there. And if you notice, he switched to a blue ball here, which is a harder surface, so he can delay the roll to keep it from hooking away from the tin for the conversion. It was interesting to watch Weatherford. His mother bowled on the first match, and he uses the full length of the approach. In fact, his heels are standing over the back end. And a release.
Oh boy, that's some good action there.
Well, that's the power. The same reason that Earl Lenhoff left the 8-10 or the 7-9 for the left-handers is the same reason that he's getting the 4-9. It's the power on it. Cross lane and a spare.
He hasn't been able to string his strikes together, but he's filled every frame.
He's going to make an adjustment here on this left lane. He went and got a harder ball because the urethane ball was hooking off on him. So this one will delay the roll a little better. You notice the ball didn't react as violent as the other one.
He finishes with a 190 scratch. And that's good enough for him to move on to the final match against Larry Sydnor.
And as Earl said, he bowls quickly.
Sure does. Wants to get up there, get the job done.
You know, over here at SuperBowl, they have the daybreak special. They can bowl Monday through Thursday from noon to 5 p.m. And the 3 games only cost $1.99.
Oh.
Bargain time here
I think
at
I'll be over
SuperBowl.
here. What time?
That's from noon to 5 p.m.
There's
Earl Lenhoff made the spare, and he can finish up here, Nick, with a 167.
Earl's averaging a 151 this year. Earl, 66 years of age, he's retired from the Pennington Rubber Company. Oh, beautiful way to finish. He finishes with a 165. And that concludes our first match. We'll be back with Earl Weatherford versus Larry Sydnor in the finals at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl TV Merit Tournament qualifying championship of the men. Yes, that's a mouthful. Earl Weatherford versus Larry Sydnor. Earl Weatherford just beat Earl Lenhoff 190 to 165. And he's been cranking them. Watch out. A 9 count. It looked like the head pin was going to shoot all the way across the lanes and take the 10 out.
Well, that's the action he's been trying to get on that lane all during the first game. And you notice he switched off to the other ball that doesn't hook as much on the back end. It goes a little longer.
Oh, it's going to fall, yes.
And it went so long it went into the channel.
Do you think maybe it's a psychological advantage or disadvantage, switching balls in the middle frame?
Well, no, he's done this, in league play they do this. That just delays the hook on the ball so that it has a straighter shot at the pin. There's Larry. Larry is a strong player, and that is what you call a solid 10.
Real solid. I think it's nailed down. You might want to check that out. Larry is what we call our top qualifier, but that was because he picked heads on a coin flip. Actually, Larry and Earl Weatherford were tied with the 6-10 scratch series, and we hit a flip a coin.
But I think this is kind of interesting. If you notice, Larry switched to the ball that Earl wouldn't shoot the 10 pin with, and it's due to the fact his first ball has a lot more hooking action than the pink ball.
What do you think lane conditions are right now?
Well, obviously the lanes are reacting a lot more than they did when the ladies start bowling the first match, due to the fact that the ball is going down a lane that drives out the track a little more.
Nice ball from Larry Sydnor. And it was kind of funny. We were just joking around when the fellas were warming up, and Larry could not miss. He was just really on his game. Earl was kind of struggling, switch balls. He got real hot. Larry got cold. And here we are in the telecast with peaks and valleys.
And that is what is known as a rushing the foul line and rearing at the line, and came straight up in the air and pulled the ball. And he's going to have to settle down and regroup.
Yeah, he just kind of picked up his towel there and smacked the ball and threw it down quickly.
And he just made the 1 pin. You notice, I thought Earl may have taken a practice shot. He could only lost 1 pin and count, and may have taken what we call a free shot at the 1-3 pocket. See how he gets untracked with this shot.
There's the ball.
And the adjustment.
After filling the 10 frames of the first game, Earl opens 2, then strike. A good strike ball.
And this is the one where Larry can pick up a little running room, Nick. Notice he uses a lot shorter approach than Earl does. And he doesn't hook the ball as much. He's a little more of a roll, and he got up there really quick on that one.
You're talking about approaches, Eddie. Larry has a 5-step approach, but it's a shorter one, whereas Earl has a 4-step 16-footer.
Well, he goes up there a little quick. That time, with Larry here with the short 5 steps, his arm wasn't moving with his feet, and he just got up there a little quick, and the ball was delayed. And a nice conversion. You know, in our audience here today, and we invite a lot of people to come out here and watch us, the show, and we have Jerry Bettinghouse from across the river come over here. He plays golf and lives to our host Doug Martin, and he owns the Crossgate lanes. He's in the audience here today, and of course I was out with Jerry last night.
Leave that at that.
And the ripper.
Well, Larry, you can see in Larry's reaction, he felt that the ball was maybe a little light, and I think he jumped on the lane a little bit to help the carry in.
That's the shell of that ball, which is a little softer than the one that Earl is playing with.
time for Earl to string 2 in a row. It's down 22. Ooh.
And a solid 4.
Earl, as we were saying, owns 300 games. Those are something people search of every time they step onto a lane.
And for the conversion. You know, I once took my mother to watch Andy Verapapa Bowl, and the first game he shot a 300, and she said, well, he's not so good. I haven't seen him make a spare yet. and believe me, you have to make spares to make the doubles and triples count for anything.
There's the ball. I'll name that ball. I'll call that the cruncher.
That's a crusher, all right. That's the full power.
There's never any doubt that a pin would be standing. So here's Larry Sydnor, plus 22.
Nice steady approach. He was a little quick on the last one over there.
And
he caught it a little too much in the center of the lane, and the ball slid on him and left what we call it the 8-10.
Okay, that kind of helps Earl Weatherford as you see him sitting there planning strategy.
Deep in thought is what that was.
This game seems a little more slower paced, Eddie.
Well, you get the better bowlers, and they think a little harder, and sometimes they think too long and get themselves in a little bit of a problem. I'm sure that now that shot resulted in the 8-10, it'll be gone. They'll forget about it. Put that one in history.
With a strike here, Larry could cut the lead. Or I'm sorry.
Larry will get up here. This is a lane that has been treating him good. He's been striking every time here. And he'll just go right back.
Ooh.
That one sounded like it picked up the thumb hole a little bit, Nick, and probably overturned it a little bit, and the ball didn't finish as he wanted it, and that's what left a weak 6. And the 10-pin stands there.
It's so unpredictable. He could throw that same ball again and carry that 10-pin easily.
And a little body English helped that one.
When that ball was hanging on the edge, it was smelling channel. Now here's Earl with a strike. He could cut it to 10 pins. So a big ball for Earl Weatherford.
He's going to work on this one a little bit. He's all the way under the ball. Look at his concentration.
He's running back. There it is.
And the flower pot.
Oh boy. So that's our first double of the match, and it belongs to Earl Weatherford. And with a strike here, we're all even.
Right. And that's Earl's first double. He bowled a real fine first game without a double and no opens. He's only had one open. He's got 2 openings, all right? A split and a miss.
Yeah.
And the concentration, the ball tucked underneath.
It's a good-looking ball. He feels good about it. Oh, yeah.
And he's got it.
And that is our first, do they call it a turkey still?
Turkey, triple, yeah.
Triple. 88 in the 5th frame. Larry right now is working on a spare. So this is a big ball for Larry.
Well, he's got to have something to build on right now. And this is a lane he's been having a little degree of difficulty. And a little ahead of it again, and notice he lost his balance.
Yeah, he sure did. He looked like he was about ready to topple over. Maybe it looked like his shoe maybe stuck to the floor.
I noticed he looked at it, Nick. You notice he switched balls again to the pink one, and he's crossing lanes, facing the target, full release, and a spare. Well, he is down right now.
He's down 2, but Earl's working on a strike while Larry's working on a spare. So We'll see what the TV camera does right here. Big time strike ball.
Little trip for one he turned his back on.
I don't know what he was thinking. I was wondering if he was disgusted or he said, mark it down, baby, it's a strike.
Well, I think he was happy to get the results that he did. This one here could put Earl 12 pins up.
Oh, he got the carry.
I think he said, Larry, you can trip it out of there. I can punch one a little high, too.
Here we are. Earl Weatherford plus 12, working with a double. Actually, 4 in a row.
Right.
But a double on the scorecard. Into the all-important 9th frame.
I kind of like the reaction on both bowlers here, Nick. They knew the ball was going to travel high, and both of them sort of stood there and says, oh, no. And then they turned their backs on him, and they all went down.
Ooh.
And a quick 6.
Quick 6. That was quick.
This is referred to as the dinner bucket, and you'll have to move to the right and let the ball roll off on the back end and then try and cover them all with the ball.
Earl's plus 18. Big ball. An open here would really throw this match up in the air.
All with the ball.
It's X time or black time for Larry.
Yeah, Larry can jump right back in here. He's still got room. If he jumps on one here, he'll have one possible 156 to Earl's 164. If he just get away.
Oh boy, he got away with one.
I think he's just crowding the approach up there a little bit. He's got 2 nice breaks in a row. Let's see if he can take advantage of it.
He can cut it to 8 pins here, Eddie, with a strike. Plus, he would be working on a triple going into the 10th frame.
And more importantly, he'll be sitting on the bench. I think 156, 186, 216. He can really lock Earl out. If he takes it out, he can control his own destiny with this pitch.
Oh boy, that's 3 in a row. Larry has gotten away with, and he knows it. He's smiling big time.
Well, there's no defense in this game, you know. Watched basketball last night, and you heard him say, well, they won with defense. Earl is sitting over here just dying because there's not a thing he can do about it. He can't trip him. He can't keep the pins from falling. There's no D.
The strike here would almost... Ooh. Okay, something. Earl is going to need a double right now.
We may have a tie game.
It's 206, the final score for Larry. And let's figure this out here. If Earl strikes out, he can finish with a 2. He can... Sorry, 204 was the final.
We can have a tie game here. Earl's sitting with a 164. He needs to strike on this ball, and he knows it.
This is it, do or die. Earl Weatherford, he's looking at it, and it's there.
There it goes.
Oh boy, beautiful ball.
He knew he needed it.
If he gets a strike here, he'll win it.
He'll win it. If he spares,
if he spares, there's going to be 1 pin standing right at the face saying, "Oh boy, if you hit me, we have overtime," which is
we bowled the 9th and 10th over.
Okay. Pressure ball. Earl Weatherford in a seesaw match. It's and down there. He thinks it's there, and that's it. Oh, beautiful.
What a finish.
It sure was.
That is what you call pure pressure.
Well, he still needs a pin.
Oh. It's what they call Sydnor. He's got a possible 214.
Right now he's sitting at 204. If he can chip a pin, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's going to get that pin. Yes.
214.
Oh.
That's what is called answering the call. A pressure shot, and there it went.
Okay, and that was the championship match. Earl Weatherford takes the men's championship at the Super Bowl TV Merit Tournament qualifying round, and we'll be back with awards and presentations right after this. And we've just finished our championship match between the men and the women at the Super Bowl TV Merit Tournament, and before I say another word, I'm going to turn it over to Eddie Jackson.
Nick, thanks a lot, and we had an exciting match at last game. We almost had overtime, almost had a tie match, and to present the awards this afternoon, we have the genial host here, Doug Martin. Doug?
Thank you, Eddie. First of all, on the women, Janice McKinney. She came in third in our first TV Merit Tournament. Janice, I have a check for you here for third place money. Good shooting.
Thank you.
Second of all, Gene Weatherford. Gene came in second this week. Gene, I have a check for you here for second place money.
Thank you.
Good shooting also. And Connie Block, she's our champion here for the first week. Connie, congratulations, good shooting. I have a check for you for first place. And then on the men's side over here, Earl Lenhoff. Ran into some split problems there, but got a check here for you anyway for third place. Good shooting there, Earl. And Larry Sydnor, you ran into a tiger there, Larry, with Earl. But we have a check here for you for second place. Good shooting. And Earl Weatherford, we finally got on track there and threw those 4 in a row. It was good shooting there, Earl. Our first champion, good shooting. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Doug, and we'll give it right back to Nick and for the wrap-up.
Okay, and we'd like to thank everyone. Everyone's been so kind to us. I'm sure you agree to that, Eddie. Good coffee and such. So we're at the Super Bowl in Erlanger, Kentucky. I'd like to thank our executive producer, Joe Hackman, our producer director, Ron Lawson, and that'll do it from Erlanger, Kentucky, the Super Bowl.